to my Otoshi Monologues. Last time you watched me get to Japan, and this time you'll actually get to see me in Japan. Before I get started, I want to point out my nice little decorations, my attempt to decorate my room within the shot of this frame. Today I'll be talking about my dorm orientation, Mitaka, Shinjuku, and Akihabara. So, let's get started. So, I finally made it to Japan and got to my dorm around 12:30 p.m. I got my dorm tour and then headed for my room. I don't have much footage from this day because I was a mix of stressed and tired from having just traveled 24 hours straight, so please forgive me. I met my roommate. Shout out to Eric, aka I know you didn't have a choice to live with me, but thanks for putting up with my craziness. And then, along with some new friends, it was off to 7-Eleven. At this point, I don't think I ate anything since my sad and dry Bite and Bite burger, but the weird combo of jet lag and adrenaline made it so I just wasn't really hungry. At 7-Eleven, I just picked me up a nice little fruit sandwich. Now, I've seen these sandwiches for a really long time and wanted to try one ever since I was a wee lad watching Pokemon. And now, as a not-so-wee lad who still watches Pokemon, I finally got to try it, and boy, it did not disappoint. It's such a simple sandwich, but it's so freaking good. The ingredients are just some crustless white bread, and some whipped cream, and some fruit. But, I don't know, the combination of sweet and savory, oh, I'm here for it. 10 out of 10, would recommend. Try it. Then it was back to move-in responsibilities. I went to my housing orientation, where we got this really extensive list of rules. Look at this book. Japan, I have to say, you're very thorough in your rules. Have to say, I appreciate it. And then it was back to my room to pass out at like 9 p.m. so my body could finally reset and realize that 50% of it has officially made it to the mother. I should mention, I'm half Japanese, half Chinese. Okay, continuing on. Let me take a moment to give y'all a quick tour of my room. Wow! Oh my gosh! This dorm gave us everything. We got a bed with a blanket, pillow, and sheets. We got our own microwave and this gigantic fridge and freezer with an ice tray, all for 2 people. We got a fancy smancy toilet with an automatic seat heating and a fancy bidet and a sink on top of it. We got a shower, we got a desk and a lamp. We got this sink and this mirror and closets and plates and bowls and cups and this cabinet. There's so much storage. I'm only here for like 3 months and this space is bigger than the triple I had for my entire freshman year. Aww. And then to top it off, we have a lounge area with a TV, free washers and dryers, free toilet paper, fresh towels and linens. I'm gonna go through major withdrawals when I go back home. The only really sucky thing is that the Wi-Fi connection is basically non-existent. My phone just won't connect, and my computer gets connection on and off, but they provided us with an Ethernet cable, so as long as I can get an adapter, everything should be fine. So anyway, I went to sleep and woke up for my next day of orientation. Orientation was whatever. Met the really nice UC EAP Tokyo team, and they gave us lunch. I love free food so much.
Look at it.
My first bento box in Japan. Let's just pause on this for a bit and take in its glory. You got your purple rice, your bean seaweed salad, a shumai, potato salad, some fish cake, chicken, tamago, meatball, fried crab claw. And then to top it off, they gave us fruit and a yogurt cup. Come on, UC EAP. You're too much. You're too much. It's too much. Then it was time for my first nighttime outing. I was lucky enough to find a group of UC EAP people who invited me to go out with them, and we bussed back over to Musashi-Sakai. I finally got to eat at Coco Curry House. Oh man, I love myself some curry. Now, there are a couple of these in California, but every time people want to go, it's like an hour-and-a-half wait. But here, Coco is basically like Taco Bell's. It's cheap, it's fast, it's not super busy, but the food is so good. Maybe I'm just super biased, or I'm still in my everything's awesome phase, but fast food in Japan, much higher quality than in America. That katsu curry was so good. The katsu's crispiness is something else, man. As my roommate Eric said, it's almost like a donut. I know that sounds really weird, but it really was like a crispy donut. 10 out of 10, would recommend. Oh, I'm sorry I pointed at you. 10 out of 10, would recommend. Then I had a quick pit stop at Daiso, and then I went back home. The next day, I went to Shibuya with dirty, but more on that later. The next day, I was off to Shinjuku. Wow, the city. Ooh, more buildings. Some people needed to get Ethernet converter cables, so first we went to an electronic shop. And just look at it. Everything is so shiny. Look at how big the screen is. It's 27 inches. That's bigger than some TVs. And I'm not exactly sure what this is, but Disney. Even this seems so magical. Then we stopped in Gucci. Well, some of us went to Gucci. I was in a group that stayed outside of Gucci because I'm not that fancy. Legit, everyone else in that store was rocking their suits with their Gucci shopping bags, and it's like they live in a completely different world. After, we went to my version of Gucci, Uniqlo. This Uniqlo was like 5 floors. You would think it would be really impressive, but I was kind of disappointed. Sure, it's bigger, but sure, it's larger. Nope. It might have more floors than a regular Uniqlo, but it really did just seem like another one from the States. Things were still just as expensive, and they didn't have many shirts. I still really like Uniqlo, but I think I was expecting Uniqlo in Japan to be super magical, but instead it was just regularly magical. Outside of this Uniqlo though, was extra magical because there was a guy walking his owl. Like, what the heck? Only in Japan, man. For dinner, we had okonomiyaki and yakisoba that you cook yourself. Shout out to my table, because I think we did very A1 level cooking. Ooh, look at that pour. Look at that spreading. Look at that flip and drizzle work. Oh, I'm hungry. Then we wandered our way over to an arcade, where we honestly were kind of obnoxious because we were such a big group, but I had a real good time. There were claw machine attempts, a lot of taiko, and a crazy photo booth experience. The results, totally worth it. Oh, totemo kawaii desu ne. And that's the power of editing, my friends. We ended the day with a Japanese beard papa that was also really, really good. That custard had some primo vanilla beans in it, and I went to sleep a very happy boy. After sleeping in from a long day yesterday, it was time for lunch, but first we gotta walk through this forest of a campus. On the menu today was some zaru soba with tempura, with a side of some new friends. Hi friends, please don't abandon me later in the corridor. Cool, thanks. That food was also 10 out of 10. Ugh, the tempura was perfectly crispy, and they gave me some fancy looking fried leaf thing that was also very oishi. And to top off all that fanciness, I got a raw quail egg to mix into my soba dipping sauce. Ooh, A+. Then it was off to Akihabara. Yes, the land of electronics, all things anime, and gachapons galore. Even the Akihabara train station has lines of gachapons. Look at this selection. And of course, I caved and bought one. But after spending way too much time in the station, we finally made it outside. Look at its marvelousness. First stop, the Sega Arcade. Or one of the buildings of the Sega Arcade. Later, I would discover that there was another building like halfway down the block. Oh well. Now, before coming to Japan, I told myself I would go all out at least once on these claw machines and win a nice stuffed animal or something. So I came to Akihabara with the intent to play and win. But once I got here, I chickened out. I gotta scope things out first, you know. Today was a research day. But, mark my words, before the end of my trip, I will complete my mission. I hope. After the arcade, we stopped in Mr. Donut. I know it's in the States, but I've never gone to one. Plus, I got a strawberry mochi ring donut, which I haven't seen in the States, so it seemed like a good option to me. Cheers! It was indeed a very good donut. Very chewy. Nice strawberry flavor. Like the premium strawberry Pocky with the freeze-dried strawberries. And you can peel each little section of the donut off, which made it much more fun to eat. We wandered around a couple more hours, checking a lot more arcades, anime shops, and a retro video game store. I swear I had footage for it, but now it's gone. So here's a generic picture. Then it was back toward campus for dinner, where I was introduced to my favorite new fast food chain called Matsuya. It's just a basic Japanese diner-like chain that you can find all over the place, but something about it just won me over. You order food on this automatic tablet and then take your little receipt to the cashier and just sit down. And then, in like 5 minutes, the food is brought to your table. Their menu has a lot of donburi rice bowls and a lot of other stuff that I'm sure I'll try eventually, but this time, I got a tamenegi gyudon. So, a beef rice bowl topped with a lot of green onions and an egg and a side of miso soup, all for 490 yen, which is less than $5. And if you saw last episode, you know that's less than a boba nowadays, and you know how seriously I take my boba. Oishii! Green onions just really do it for me. I'm salivating just thinking about it. I'll have to go for dinner today. I'm hungry. On that note, this concludes my first few days in Japan. Thanks for coming with me as I travel different areas of Tokyo, and I'll talk to y'all again next time I do something interesting. Mata next time!